Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as chair of the board, I welcome you to this virtual May 18th, 2021 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Our communications manager, Emily Kaiser, will now describe how our virtual meetings operate, how to access the agenda, and how people may participate remotely. Emily?
Thanks, Commissioner. So if you would like to make public comment during the public comment portion of the meeting, I'll provide instructions at that time to help you to virtually raise your hand. And you can do that either on your computer or if you're joining us from your touch-tone phone today. The chat feature on this Zoom meeting is available only as technical support for users on their computer or smartphone. If you're experiencing a technical issue with audio or video, please submit a comment in the chat feature and I'll help you troubleshoot. If you're a member of the staff or a road commissioner and are having issues, please contact the IT help desk and they'll help you during the meeting. Today's meeting agenda is posted to WCRoads.org and there's a link available in the chat if you're joining us from your computer. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded. A link to the video will be posted to WCRoads.org in the next day or two. And now back to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Emily. And I'd like to call this meeting to order, and Emily will call the roll. Commissioners, please identify your location for this meeting.
Okay, Chair Barb Fuller.
Barbara Fuller, participating from Scioto Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Roderick Green has an excused absence for this meeting in its entirety.
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Doug Fuller is present and is in Scioto Township.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
I am present in Pittsfield Township in Washington.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Good afternoon. I'm present, attending from Ypsilanti Charter Township virtually.
Managing Director Cheryl Siddle.
Present.
County Highway Engineer Matt McDonnell.
Present.
Director of Operations Jim Harmon.
Present.
And Director of Finance and IT Dan Ackerman.
Here.
Thank you, Emily. I now ask that we observe a moment of silence out of respect for those 586,000 Americans, including nearly 19,800 Michiganders who have perished because of the COVID-19 virus. And while the trend in confirmed cases and deaths is improving, the only way to stop the virus is to achieve a 70% vaccination rate. To date, 38.6% of Michiganders have been fully vaccinated, meaning both shots in conjunction with the COVID-19 vaccine. We are over halfway to achieving herd immunity, and the only way to get there is to continue to get vaccinated and encourage others to do so. And I want to thank those of you who have gone ahead and gotten vaccinated. It's because of you that we are reaching a point where things can be a little more relaxed. So if we could please observe that moment of silence. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam Chair, I'd like to motion to approve the agenda for May 18th.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion about the agenda? Any changes, additions, anything at all? Hearing none. Emily, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. The next item on the agenda is acceptance of the minutes from 2 meetings. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of May 4th, 2021, appearing on pages 3 through 13 of the board packet? May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the board meeting minutes of May 4th, 2021.
Support.
Thank you. Is there discussion? Any corrections? Hearing none. Emily, if you would call the roll.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Aye.
Next are the minutes of the closed session, May 4th, 2021. These closed session minutes were sent separately to board members for their consideration. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I motion that we accept the closed session minutes of May 4th, 2021.
I second.
Thank you. Discussion on those closed session meeting minutes at all? Any corrections? Hearing none. Emily, roll call, please.
Commissioner Barb Fuller,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
and Commissioner Joey McCollum.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a retirement resolution recognizing the public service of Carrie Ryan, who's with us today. And I will make the motion. Whereas Carrie E. Ryan has served as a valuable full-time employee of the Washtenaw County Road Commission starting on May 11th of 2006 through May 28th of 2021, when she has elected to retire to enjoy time with her family and friends. And whereas Carrie E. Ryan has provided 15 years of knowledge and experience as board secretary, which has greatly benefited the Washtenaw County Road Commission, the Board of County Road Commissioners, the citizens of Washtenaw County, and the traveling public. And whereas in having provided 15 years of faithful and valuable service to the Washtenaw County Road Commission and the board in particular, her experience and knowledge will be greatly missed. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Washtenaw County Board of County Road Commissioners, thank, acknowledge, and commend Carrie E. Ryan for her dedicated service and wish her continued good health, happiness, and success in all of her future endeavors. Thanks, Carrie. I'm going to miss you.
Thank you very much, Barb. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Carrie, I'd just like to thank you for all your service over the years. I know the last 3 years we've had the opportunity to work very closely together, and I appreciate everything that you've done for me personally and all the support that you've provided to the various board members that we've had over the years. You've certainly provided a valuable service, and of course we wish you all the best as you hopefully find someplace warmer at some point in the near future.
Thanks, Cheryl. That may be in the plans. I hate winter. So.
I know.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Carrie, congratulations. And my apologies. She sets deadlines for board agenda items. And I may send an email or two saying, can you give me till tomorrow morning? And she's always been very accommodating. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Carrie.
Thanks, Dan. No problem. You're easy to work with.
Thanks, Carrie, for all your hard work, and I wish you well.
Thanks. I'm sorry I didn't get to see you in person. Maybe I'll run into you at some point.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll be able to reinstitute those pancake breakfasts and spring luncheons, and you can come and break bread with us.
There you go.
We're going to send an airplane down to North Carolina to bring her back?
Yes, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay, pardon me. I thought it was North Carolina.
Well, we'll work with Dan on that.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
So Carrie, I want to also thank you. It was great getting to know you. Too bad I didn't get to meet you in person, but congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Gloria.
Bob.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Congratulations, Carrie, and best wishes to a southern location. I love that.
It's in the plans at some point.
All right. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Carrie, the administration building is going to seem that much emptier without you there. Really appreciate your friendship and all your hard work over many years. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Best of luck to all of you guys too.
Thank you.
Don't be a stranger.
Nope.
All right.
I'll try and pop in now and then if I can.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Carrie. Take care of yourself.
Okay, I will. You guys take care too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board. Emily, do we have anyone who wishes to speak to the board?
At this time, Commissioner, we don't have any members of the public in our meeting.
Very good, thank you. Moving on then, we'll go to written communications. The summary is on page 14, and there's one item that was presented in its entirety on page 15-16. Any comments with respect to the written communications?
I just had questions. I know they provided a picture, but are they assuming that we cut down those beautiful pink trees, but we did not, right? So I'm not sure what I'm missing in the pictures. Unfortunately, they're very upset by what that I can see. Have you talked to them, Cheryl, and you know exactly what they're talking about?
I emailed with the gentleman. I did not speak with him direct. This communication came in right as we were preparing the board packet, so I did not include my response, just the communication itself. But I did respond to him. He living on a natural beauty road. His preference, of course, would be that no maintenance work be done at all. And that's not really a possibility for us. We do have a responsibility, even with the natural beauty road designation, to still perform basic routine maintenance and including some vegetation control. And so we did perform some boom mowing operations along that roadway. And that is what he is upset about. I don't think that the changing of the trees is really what his issue was. I too had to look a little closer at the pictures as well, trying to see exactly what it was. In his response to me, to my response, I mean, he's obviously of the opinion that we should not touch natural beauty roads. And unfortunately, we do have a responsibility to do basic maintenance along those roadways.
Okay, so that was not my imagination. I didn't see any severe damage done, you know, just kind of a cleanup. All right, thank you.
Commissioner McCollum, and then Director of Operations, Jim Harmon.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Was I missing something? And then I thought, should I go down the, road and see? But then I wouldn't have known, if I didn't see it before. So I'm thinking, is it some of the green area bushes were cut back? Or was that what was done? Anyone?
Cheryl, would you like to respond, or would you like
I'd
to?
be happy to. My understanding is we performed just very basic boom mowing operations along that roadway, but Jim probably is in a better position to speak to that.
Okay.
Mr. Harmon.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I traveled the road on Friday to make my own personal observations. I found the work that was performed by our district crew to be within the guidance established by the Road Commission for roadside vegetation control. Respecting the gentleman's concerns, I did not find the work to be inappropriate at all. It was absolutely consistent with what was necessary to maintain that public roadway.
Thank you. And just for the edification of anyone out there who may be listening and anyone on this Zoom meeting that might want to reference it, we do have natural beauty road guidelines, and there's extensive information about what a natural beauty road is, what it is not, and what it protects against. So if you have any desire to bone up a little more on the specifics of that, there's plenty of information. I'm sure Cheryl and Jim would be happy to answer any of your questions as well. If that's it, we will move on. There was no public comments, so we will bypass item 6. and move on to item 7, new business. Item A is the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, items 1 through 11?
Madam Chair, I'd be happy to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, items 1 through 11.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Is there discussion? And you'll notice that Carrie's retirement resolution is approved in the consent agenda. That's why I didn't ask for a motion in the beginning. Just so you know, we take care of it here. If there's no discussion, Emily, if you would call the roll, please.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Thank you. We will move on to action items. They appear on pages 20 through 24. Action item number 1. May I have a motion to adopt the permit and administration fee schedule? The resolution appears on page 21.
Madam Chair, I would like to, as soon as I get to page 21.
Fair enough.
Oh, here we go, page 21. The
Proposed motion at the
the
top.
proposed motion, yep. Up at the top, no, on 21, maybe on 22. The procedures are,
No, we're
Regulation.
approving the fee schedule is the first item. So the description of it, of the action item started on page 20 and it runs on to page 21 where the motion that we actually need to put on the table is stated.
I see. Whereas MCLA number 247.325 and 224.19B provided that the Board of County Road Commissioners of Washtenaw, County of Washtenaw may adopt its own fee schedule for the administration of permits after a public hearing, and whereas after the required public notice was published, the public hearing was held virtually over the internet via Zoom on March 23rd, 2021. And whereas this board hereby determines that the proposed permit fee schedule as promulgated prescribed reasonable rates to cover staff costs to receive, review, and issue permits. And whereas from the findings of the board, it is deemed appropriate to adopt the aforementioned permit administrative fee schedule. Now, therefore, let it be resolved, therefore be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the county highway engineer, director of engineering, and concurrence of the managing director, the board approves the revised permit and administrative fee schedule to take effect June 1st, 2021, and supersede all other previous permit fee schedules adopted by the board.
Is there a second?
Support.
Thank you. Is there discussion? Hearing none. Emily, if you would call the roll.
Commissioner Barb Fuller,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Thank you. Action item number 2. May I have a motion to adopt the procedures and regulations for permit activities? The resolution itself appears on page 22.
Madam Chair, I'd be happy to make that motion.
Please.
Whereas MCLA 247.325 and 224.19B provide that the Board of County Road Commissioners of the County of Washtenaw may adopt its own rules and permit requirements necessary for the administration of permits after a public hearing. And whereas the Board of County Road Commissioners of the County of Washtenaw promulgated rules entitled, quote, procedures and regulations for permit activities, end of quote, for administration of aforesaid act. And whereas after the required public notice was published. A public hearing was held virtually over the internet via Zoom on March the 23rd, 2021. And whereas this board hereby determines that the procedures and regulations as proclamated prescribe reasonable standards for the regulation of permit activities in the public right-of-way under the jurisdiction of this board. And whereas from the findings of the board, it is deemed appropriate to adopt the aforementioned procedures and regulations so as to regulate permit activities with public safety and with management of public right-of-way. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the procedures and regulations for permanent activities are hereby adopted. All prior procedures and regulations conflicting with this resolution are hereby repealed. The effective date of aforesaid procedures and regulations for permit activities shall be June the 1st of 2021.
May I have a second?
Support.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Emily, if you would call the roll, please.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Aye.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Action item number 3. May I have a motion to accept the bid award for the Phase 2 Zeeb Road improvements and the Bemis Road at Carpenter Road intersection improvements? The resolution appears on page 23 of your packet.
Madam Chair, I propose the motion that upon the recommendation of the County of Highway Engineer, Director of Engineering, and the concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby accepts the low bid of and authorizes the Managing Director to sign a contract with Miller Brothers Construction Incorporation to construct the Zeeb Road improvements, Phase 2, and the Bemis Road at Carpenter Road intersection improvements. The Liberty Road at Zeeb Road roundabout project shall be rebid for the 2022 construction season.
May I have a second?
Support.
Certainly you may.
Thank you. Is there discussion? Hearing none. Emily, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller,
Yes.
and Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 4. May I have a motion to approve the right-of-way acquisition for the Phase 2 Zeeb Road improvements? It appears on page 24 of your packet.
I'd be happy to make the motion for you.
Please.
That upon the recommendation of the County Highway Engineer, Director of Engineering, and concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the acquisition of a 113 square foot or 0.003 acre public road easement, more particularly described in attachment A, and a 6,510 square foot grading permit from the owner, Beth K. Henseman, upon a parcel of property commonly known as 5476 Pleasant Lake Road, Lodi Township, Michigan, referred to as tax parcel number M13153000006 in the amount of $1,000 and no cents dollars.
May I have a second?
Support.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. Emily, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Aye.
Moving on to reports. County Commissioner report. I see that Commissioner Caroline Sanders is with us. Do you have any thoughts you'd like to share with us, Commissioner? If Emily can bring her into.
No, I do not. I'm just going to let you keep rolling along.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity, though.
Thanks for being with us, Caroline.
No problem.
We'll move on to road commissioner reports. Commissioner Doug Fuller, do you have anything in addition to the comments you submitted ahead of time for the minutes?
No, I'm happy.
Well, we're glad you're happy. Gloria, do you have a report for us today?
I have no report.
Thank you. Commissioner McCollum.
Yes. On May 11th, I attended the Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation Commission. The East-West Washtenaw Community Recreation Center proposed project was discussed. It was recommended that the Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation Commission authorize staff to work with project partners and legal counsel to draft a memorandum of understanding outlining the terms and conditions of the East Washtenaw Community Recreation Center project and contingent upon a successfully executed MOU, and to make a financial commitment of $3,500,000 towards the project. Although I see this as a generous commitment, I feel that there needs to be a higher financial commitment because of the high need of this project. This recommendation was passed, and I hope that in the future there will be a determination that an additional financial commitment can be made. That's my report. Thank you.
If I may, Commissioner McCollum, has Parks and Rec determined where that money is being drawn from?
I have to get back to you on that. I don't remember them mentioning it, so I'd have to
Oh, okay.
find out.
I just wondered if it's coming from reserves, if it's revenue that is on hand. I'm thinking again with some of the ARP money, if it's coming from there, but I that feels like a significant number to me. So I'd like to know where it's being drawn from.
That's a good question. I'll get back to you on that.
Thanks.
Thank
My report is very brief. On May 6th, I attended the virtual 2021 construction season kickoff meeting. It was a information-packed 1 hour plus Q&A. Emily did an amazing job of talking almost as fast as those old Federal Express commercials, but did a nice job of having it make sense. So well done. And then after the fact, the questions were very smart questions, very thoughtful questions. I'm not sure how many people participated. I couldn't see that from where I was. Do we have any idea how many folks attended that? Because a lot of work went into putting that session together, clearly.
We had sort of about our maximum was 30 people, close to 30 people.
Wow. Impressive.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's one of the, I can't tell if there's just us or if there's 100 people sitting out
Yeah,
there. in the
people kind
audience.
of came and went, but yeah, at max we were about 30. I'd say 25 to 30 was probably where we were holding steady.
Very nice. And this is the first time we've done something like this, correct?
We've certainly done project specific, but this was a construction season overview, so it was the first one of that nature.
And that PowerPoint, again, that's another one that would be really nice to have access to at some future point. Okay. Moving right along, we will go to the managing director and her staff reports. This all begins on page 53 of our packet. Cheryl.
So we have several staff reports that are within the board packet: communications, the recruiting, and then a copy of the WCRC Fix-It report that we send to the BOC each month as well. So I'd be happy to entertain any questions on any of those reports.
Any questions?
Otherwise, we've been, the management team and myself have been paying very close attention to the changes that are coming with respect to specifically face masks right now. We originally had the MyVax, and that was looking at milestones based on vaccination for things like reopening, specifically the remote work requirement going away effective May 24th. So that presents its first set of opportunities for us to bring staff back into the office. But now we have this complication with the face mask order that went into effect this past Saturday. And we are still, right now we're holding steady on the face mask protocol that we have had in place since last fall, I believe was the most recent update that we as an organization had until we receive further guidance from MIOSHA. The signaling from MIOSHA is that there may be some relaxation in the face mask requirement based on vaccination, but we're waiting to see what that guidance might look like and what would be the most appropriate form for our organization. In each one of these decisions, we look very closely at obviously the requirements that are out there from MIOSHA, MDHHS, and other state organizations, as well as what the county's doing. So we are fervorously looking at information that is out there so that we can determine the next steps for us. We are also looking at, like I said, the remote work requirement expiring as effective as of Monday. So starting to bring folks back into the office, of course, with all safety protocols that would be in place. And then also looking at if and when we would be opening the lobby to the public and how that would look and all of those types of things. So a lot of upcoming changes in that we expect to be taking place. It's exciting. It's nice to be thinking that we're towards the end of these and we're opening and greeting people and all of those kinds of things, but we certainly want to make sure that we're doing so safely for all of our staff and for anyone that might be visiting us. Any questions?
I'd just like to acknowledge my appreciation for staff's compliance and good humor at the ups and downs and the backs and forth of all of this. I know it's got to be a whiplash situation where you leave work on Friday and you come in on Monday and you're not sure what the protocol is. But I really want to thank everyone who's been vigilant about the masking and the social distancing and the washing of hands and the one person to a truck business. I know it's not as much fun as doing things all together, but I think it's making a huge difference. And I really appreciate everyone's efforts. And if there was any way for me to relieve the frustration, I would. But the only way I know of is for everybody to get vaccinated and stay safe until we get this thing under control.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We've got a very good team in place. Yesterday was a prime example of that at the directors meeting. We had good, robust discussion, various opinions of things that appear to be on the horizon and how we can make them best work for our organization. I feel very blessed to have those people in place, especially Nicole, who a lot of this falls to her. On Sunday, she's sending out an email in light of the fact that the change took effect with the face mask on Saturday, saying, please, at least on Monday, come in, it's business as usual until we figure out what this means. So, you know, people are very attentive and supportive and getting through all of this. I personally believe the word pivot should be banned from the English language after the pandemic is done, but that's just me at this point. So unless you have any further questions for me, I'd be more than happy to hand it off. We've been very busy on a variety of fronts, but I'll go ahead and start with Jim and let him bring us up to speed in operations.
Thank you, Cheryl. And good afternoon again to members of the board. Staff report for the operations department can be found in your packet beginning on page 54 and ends on page 58, covers the period of April 26th through May 9th. Very busy period indeed. We're excited for that. We put into motion a tremendous amount of planning and to good effect. I thank the board for its approval of a variety of more agreements this afternoon with our township partners, including a lesser agreement with the Village of Manchester. As you're aware, that involves an application of brine on public streets within the village. We're pleased with your support and approval to be able to extend our services to that community, which we reside in, with Manchester Yard being within the village limits. So continuing our partnership with that community. And, we're grateful for that. A robust program with the approval of the agreements that we have this afternoon. We're in excess of $7.2 million in total estimated cost just regarding our partnerships with our townships. And there are more agreements forthcoming that I'll be recommending to you for your next meeting, June 1st, and there may be just a few more meetings in the second meeting in June. With that said, a couple of highlights for the board. I'm currently parked just north of Judd Road in York Township. Judd Road is our singular Michigan transportation funded primary road asphalt resurfacing project this year. Located between Saline, Milan, and Moon Road, and Cadillac Asphalt, our contractor, is completing the top course paving on that road as I sit here and speak at this time. They will complete that top course asphalt paving this afternoon, and in the next day or two, returning to put the aggregate shoulders along the road, and subcontractor also putting the long line pavement markings on the road. So we're excited to complete that road. That road fell into the poor category. If you recall our conversation this morning, and with your budget appropriation and support and confidence in staff, we're able to rehabilitate that tired piece of primary pavement and put it back in the good category. And with your further support next year, we hope to put a chip seal followed by a fog seal on this fresh pavement to further seal it and extend its life well into the future. So thank you for that support. I'm also pleased to report that we completed on Monday our limestone resurfacing on Parker Road between Austin and Bethel Church. That borders 4 townships. It's a primary road, unpaved roadway. And we've since moved on to Moorville Road, which spans 2 townships, Saline and York Township, between Ridge Road and Macon Road. So we're excited to be performing that work at this time. We completed Getty's Road, which is part of our countywide millage project between the Superior Road Roundabout and Dixboro. We have completed Platte Road, milling and resurfacing between Willis Road and Judd Road. That's entirely funded by York Township. And yes, that is a primary road. Townships may elect as a business decision to enter into agreement with this board to improve primary roads, not just local roads. And York Township has selected a mix of projects as they've done over the last couple of years, both local and primary. So we're delighted to continue that robust partnership with York Township. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have of me or the operations department.
Any questions for Jim? No?
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. And moving on, Matt, if you'd like to bring us up to speed on engineering.
Well, I'd first like to thank you for adopting the new permit administration fee schedule and procedures and regulations. I know that was a bit of a journey to take on, and we appreciate your support for that and all the good conversations we had about that document, and look forward to implementing it June 1st. So thank you for that, and also thank you for the pivot on Zeeb Road construction contract award.
The $5 in the jar.
I thought I'd get
I like that.
Yep. Thought I'd get a rise out of that one. So I really appreciate that. We are looking forward to getting started on that work. We'll be holding a pre-construction meeting with Miller Brothers, and we'll certainly
This afternoon?
we'll give you an update on schedule after the meeting, certainly, for both of those projects, both the Zeeb Road Phase 2 and the Bemis at Carpenter. Speaking of Bemis Road, we are open to traffic on Bemis between Platt and Carpenter. So that's exciting. We got the paving work done, shoulders placed. There will be some work done under flag control for paving the HMA approaches, some guardrail installation, and but for the most part, open to traffic. So that's good news. As we really are in the midst of a busy construction season, happy to report Miller Road, the concrete breaks went well for both the pavement and the curb. We have HMA paving scheduled for hopefully Friday. We'll see. That's the plan. And then in addition, we're certainly coordinating with our operation department on the other Miller Road projects, which are commencing as well, starting this week. So a lot of work going on. The bridge projects, Dennison Road, I will report that we're going to have scheduled beam delivery this week. So that's a milestone in the project. Yes, that's going really well. The abutments are done, the backfill is ready, and they'll be placing beams, and then a lot of work happens after that with the deck and whatnot. So good milestone there, ahead of schedule. Mass Road Bridge, just north of the city of Dexter over the Huron River. That deck patching is scheduled to finish up on the west side of the bridge in the next week or two. And then we would flip-flop traffic to work on the east side and move traffic over to the west side. So work is progressing. The contractor's bridge crew also is going to begin work here shortly on bridge structure in Ypsilanti Township. So another rehabilitation project for that bridge. So a lot of work wrapping up, others getting ready to start. Keep an eye out for your project updates. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer about any of the project updates you have. Feel free to give me a call, or if you have questions right now. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. And last but not least, Dan, I know we talk about all these projects, which Dan keeps us on the straight and narrow as he's watching the books at the same time. And then obviously we have a lot going on in IT as well.
Yep, operations has definitely kept us on our toes. All those township agreements that you see, well, most of them require job numbers. And last week, one day, we set up and issued 33 job numbers, which each one is quite involved. But we are trying to have a quick turnaround because Jim and his department, they're ready to go. So we got to make sure that everything's in place so they have numbers to charge to and so on. So that's been, like I said, keeping us on our toes. And a lot of my time has been spent supporting Tracy and Jackie. And the future is bright in the finance department for what I've seen. Yesterday, I went over with Jackie some of our monthly receivables, state trunk line and sundries, hundreds of thousands of dollars that we're sending bills out and will receive back. And you know, just from my indication of going through this with Jackie, she's catching on real quickly, and she's going to do a great job. So very impressive. And Tracy, who's handling payroll, of course, extremely dedicated, takes payroll very seriously, as we all do. And you know, she's already made some process improvements, and you know, really looking forward to, as they continue to fight that learning curve and get over that, you know, some of the other things that improvements that we may realize. So like I said, the future is bright in finance, and you know, give us a few months and we'll get over any hurdles that we have. So besides that, still working on the 2019 trunk line audit. Seems like, you know, whenever we provide information, they have more questions or more documents that they need. So we'll certainly do all we need to do to comply with that. Still working on the 2020 OPEB report. So again, just a lot of information that the actuaries need. We also submitted and received approval for the 2020 qualifying statement. This is something that is due each year to the state of Michigan. And basically, when that is approved, it makes it a little bit easier to issue bonds if we need to. And even if we don't need to, it's just something that all municipalities should be doing on an annual basis. And also, as far as IT, we had 5 interns that started recently, and everything's been set up, and you know, any kinks have been worked out on that. And also Josh, with his cell phone project, he's on the next level with that, and continues to do a bang up job with that. So that's about all, unless there's any questions. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. That's what we have, what's going on with staff.
Very good. I'm just amazed at all that's in motion, and you people are all still stringing full sentences together and looking like you're holding up okay. So well done to all of you. If there are no further comments or announcements, I just want to remind people that June 1st at 1 o'clock is our next regular board meeting, and chat sessions are coming up tomorrow. I'm on tap for that one. And on May 26th, Commissioner Joanne McCullum will be hosting that chat session. So having no further business to come before the board, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. I see Gloria's lips moving.
Move that we adjourn.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, I couldn't unmute.
We'll have to all make little signs that we can hold up. Emily, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Commissioner Barb Fuller,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Green, or I did it again, Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Doug Fuller, I believe, votes aye.
There is no Doug Green, sorry. Commissioner Gloria Yamas
Yes.
and Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.